This is the middle school math man. This video is another video on quadratics, but more specifically we are going to be talking about the vertex form. So vertex form is this equation right here. F of x, which is another way of writing y, equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Now the really important part of this is the second part of it. So the vertex is represented by h comma k. So as you can see in this equation, we have an h and we have a k. So that those points are actually going to tell us what the vertex is. Notice how this is a subtraction sign right here. That's going to be important to notice here in a second. So this is going to be a quick video. I have 4 problems. Now, as we're going through these problems, let's remember that general vertex form, f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Alright, so let's remember that as we are working. So let's look at the first example. The two important parts are the h and the k, which we talked about earlier. That's going to tell us what the vertex is. Now, if you notice, right, we talked about how this is always a subtraction sign. So we have a subtraction sign as well in number 5, but that number that we plugged in for h, that number is just going to be 7, because that subtraction sign is just part of the equation. It's going to be a little bit different when we get to number 6, because that's a plus sign. But anytime we still have that subtraction sign there, that means that the x value of the vertex is going to be 7, and obviously the y value is going to be -1. So remember, h comma k, that's going to be the vertex, and we can get that from the different equations or quadratics that we have. So now for number 6, remember the vertex form is x minus h squared. So here we have x plus 2. That is a plus sign. So what that means is this 2 has to be negative, right? The way to turn this x minus h into a positive is if we had minus -2, and that would give us the plus 2. So that's going to tell us that the x value of this vertex is -2, not +2. And also the y value is -5. I just got that from that part of it. Moving on to number 9. Looking at this equation again, we have a plus sign. So like we just talked about, the only way to make a minus turn into a plus is if we had minus a negative. So we know that the x value of the vertex is going to be -1, and the y value is going to be -3. Last problem, this one's a little bit different. There is no number in that k position. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, if there's no number, well, what number is it going to be? 0. So we know that the y value is going to be 0. And then the x value, again, this is a plus sign. So minus -4 would make that +4. So we know that the x value has to be -4. Alright, so just a quick wrap up. This is the vertex form, which is underlined in red. It is also right here in red. And then we can just use that, and we can pay attention to the h value and the k value to actually tell us what the vertex is from that equation.